Welcome to the Fence and Deck Mastery Podcast, where we discuss cutting-edge techniques, industry trends, and business insights to take your fence or deck company to the next level and dominate your competition. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Fence and Deck Mastery Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Danner, and I'm also the founder of Fence and Deck Marketers, which is a digital marketing agency that works exclusively with fencing and decking businesses. If you've listened to the podcast before, we cover a lot of different things, mainly, of course, marketing, different ways you can grow the business with digital marketing to grow your fencing or decking business, but also bringing on industry experts and different interesting people that are within the industry that can kind of give some insights and share their success stories. And today, that's exactly what we're doing. Very excited to share or have a special guest on here, Louis Lipka from Cascade Fence and Deck, the general manager there. And they're a fence and deck business out of Washington State and Oregon, and doing about 12 to 13 million per year. So doing really well. So Louis, thank you for joining the podcast. How's it going, man? How you doing?
Doing good. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Let's dive right into it.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, obviously you guys are doing some really big things, doing really well. I've learned a pretty decent amount from you, and tell me about Cascade Fence and Deck. But if you could just tell, everybody that's listening just a little bit about the business, how long you've been in business. Already touched on the revenue, but number of trucks, employees. Yeah, just give us a little background on it would be great.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Cascade Fence and Deck, we've been around since 1997. First started off as a vinyl fence company. It was actually Cascade Vinyl Systems in the early years. And that carried on, I guess, into the recession, 2007, 2008. The owner at the time, he really started picking up any work he could get, started working with a lot of different builders, doing wood fences and new subdivisions, wood decks. So he started expanding beyond vinyl. And I think that's maybe 2010. He changed the name from Cascade Vinyl Systems to Cascade Fence and Deck. At the time, all of the work was new construction. So working with builders like D.R. Horton and some of these bigger builders in the area. And that carried on until about 2015 is when we really started to narrow in our niche. And I guess the deciding factor for him, he was kind of struggling with turnover, to be honest, actually. And he's like, what's going on? And the company stayed at 1 to 2 million, maybe up to 3 million up into from 2010 to 2015. But the employees weren't necessarily seeing a great future there with the company staying the same size. And that's when he realized that, okay, we got to figure something out. I think we have to start growing to keep these good guys around. So like I said, at the time we were doing all builder work. And then that's kind of when he made the decision to start focusing on homeowners. So going in and doing tear out an old fence, build a new one, and then deck remodels. And that's kind of the avenue we looked at for growth at that time. So since 2015 until now, we've been really doubling down, working only for homeowners. In 2015, we cut out the builders completely. And now here in 2024, we're at about 12 million doing only work for the homeowner and having a blast. So
oh wow,
we have 7 in-house crews, so 7 trucks of our own, and we actually sub out a fair bit of work. So during the busy season, we have about 4 or 5 sub crews rolling full time. So that's kind of a quick summary of 1997 to 2024, what it's looked like.
Yeah. And that 2015, is that right around when you first started with the company? Is that like the similar time frame?
I started in 2013, actually.
Oh, okay.
Just as an installer. I was
Gotcha.
One of my buddies worked here. He got me the job, kind of looked at it as a stepping stone. I'm like, yeah, I'll go try it out for a little bit until I find
Yeah.
something more serious,
Yeah.
And yeah, once we started growing, I didn't see a reason to leave, so I'm still here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look at you now, GM of the place. So definitely your plan seemed to work pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay. And so basically, I know you have a couple locations. So Washington, Oregon. Is it more towards Washington? I think you have a couple more locations there than you do in Oregon. Is that right?
Yeah, so we really have one main headquarters right in Vancouver, Washington. And then we have a showroom in Portland, Oregon. And then we have a couple, we call them satellite locations. Honestly, we really just use those for marketing and having a Google listing set up.
Right.
Um,
Smart.
but yeah, just this past year, we actually expanded up into Tacoma, Washington, which is about 2 hours north of Vancouver. So that's really the second service area that we're tackling.
Gotcha. And this would be kind of interesting question. I mean, at what point is it, and little feedback, I mean, this is definitely what I recommend a lot. As you grow, eventually you're going to kind of tap out the market, if you're in one city. So I'm just curious, when did you start, or what did you realize, I guess, when you realized you needed to add new locations? I mean, was there like a certain point? I mean, anything you look for in particular before you were like, okay, let's, branch out and start opening another office,
Mhm.
additional
Yeah.
place?
Yeah, good question. So kind of our whole goal here at Cascade is to create a company that we all want to work for. That's like our passion. That's our why. What we do is we build fences and decks, but the reason we are in business is because we want to create an awesome company. So with that, we know we have to grow. We have to keep our employees engaged, and we need them to be able to see a future. And we've been working tirelessly since 2015 to kind of build a scalable model. Um, so with the hopes that we can mimic it in a different service area. And we kind of got to the point where we felt like it was quite scalable. And we just so happened to have a couple employees, including myself, that lived about an hour north of Vancouver. So kind of the midway point between Tacoma and Vancouver where we're at now. So we're like, hey, there's no better opportunity than now to try it. We have the people. We feel like we've got it pretty scalable. So let's give it a shot and see what we can do.
Gotcha. And I can't, you probably told me this when we spoke previously, but did you open up just like get a commercial office in that area when you added the new
Yeah.
Google listing? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's I mean, we have warehouse space, about 2,000 square feet of warehouse, and then 500 square feet of kind of showroom and office.
Oh,
Uh,
right. Okay. I forgot.
Smaller location, but we got a place to park trailers and a little bit of material, and got an office to work out of. So
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So I know you said you started with vinyl. I believe you're
Mhm.
doing quite a bit more fences. I think it was like 2/3 fences to 1/3 decks. Maybe not revenue wise, but
Yeah,
project wise. Is that about right?
yeah. If you're looking at job count,
Yeah.
we're doing close to 600 jobs a year. About 300 of those are fences. Close to 200 are decks, and then we do like we call them small jobs, so like repairs, or if we go do a gate, about 100 of those small jobs. Our repair techs run around and do that.
Okay. So you are doing repairs pretty actively.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we're hammering down. We have two full-time repair techs. Really, the value we see in doing those is gaining the customer.
Yeah.
So we do it at a low cost. They're high turnover jobs. You can say you can do 8 a week or 10 a week, depending. But that's 8 to 10 new customers that you can turn into raving fans
Yeah.
and repeat customers, hopefully.
Yeah. No, I like that. And honestly, most of the time, the vast majority, a company your size, when I speak with them or a client, they will not touch a repair job. So that's definitely interesting. They just want to go to the replacement. I know that's pretty common, I guess,
Yeah.
advice. So, but I also get what you're saying is basically, your processes, everything you have internally is kind of well oiled at this point. So you just use it as a way to get your foot in the door for when that repair becomes a replacement, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we showed away repairs for many years, and we didn't do repairs probably from like 2018 to 2022.
Oh, wow.
We sent them all to somebody else.
Interesting.
Um, yeah, so just about a year and a half ago, I think is when it was, we turned that back on. Um, so yeah, I don't want to dive too deep into the process, but we take them all on now, and it's been awesome. It's turned into some good work for us.
Great. Great. Okay. And then once you have them kind of in your pipeline, do you reach out to them? Do you following up with them or kind of staying top of mind? I know you guys are doing a lot of marketing. Is that kind of
Yeah.
your funnel for those types of repairs too?
Yeah, I mean, it starts with just giving them an amazing experience up
Yeah.
front. So trying to get them to remember us, but then after the fact, the follow-up game is We do a little bit with email. I'm wishing we did more, but yeah, we do a little bit to try to stay top of mind. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. What do you see as more profitable? I mean, I mean, you just have a set, percentage that you're charging for the fences and decks. I mean, is it kind of the same, or is there one that you prefer more than the other?
Uh, well, a lot goes into what we prefer, but as far as profitability, um, I would say fences are more consistent. There's less variables, I guess a little bit more simple projects. Um, so we love that aspect of it as far as like pretty predictable as far as what we're going to
Yeah.
make on each job. On the deck end of things, there's a lot of opportunity, but there's also a lot of opportunity to do really well, but there's also a lot of opportunity for something to pop up, job goes sideways and turns into a loss, you know?
Yeah.
So I think
A
they
lot more.
balance out in the long run for sure, but I love the consistency of fences.
Yeah. A lot more surprises that you could come into with decks for sure. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So what I know you got, you're focused on building, a great customer experience. Is there anything like specific, like unique sales positions that you have when you're going and doing, when you have your appointments? I mean, anything that you're saying that kind of stands out that maybe others could use, or, anything like that?
Yeah, it all comes down to the people. I mean, that's what I can say. And our online like online reviews and our website, YouTube, like our customers can see that and like they follow us for a while and they kind of do some research and it helps them kind of feel like they know us or trust us.
Yeah.
Um, and then our estimators, I guess they feel that as well. So when they're on site, they're speaking that confidence right into the customer and it lines up with what the client's seen online. So I think
Yeah.
I mean, I know it sounds pretty generic, but that's truly it. It's the people for us.
Yeah.
The biggest one.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, because you're doing so many things well online, if people, from that aspect, if it's not a referral job, referrals, it sounds like that kind of speaks for itself. People are,
Yeah,
if they're thrilled with how they did it for their neighbor's house, then they're expecting the same thing with you guys, with your experience, with their experience.
yeah.
But definitely the Google reviews, like you were saying, definitely helps you. It's almost like they want you to win the job. They might be a little skeptical on pricing and stuff, but
Yeah, because we're
if you're,
not the cheapest, that's for sure.
yeah, yeah,
And we don't want to be. And we want
yeah,
people who, they have a nice place and they want to hire a contractor that they trust and they're willing to pay a little bit more for it.
yeah.
Uh,
And
so,
those people that have been, burned by lesser companies, maybe not even just fencing or decking, but like other
Mhm.
home services, I think everyone's got a experience of somebody that's screwed
100%.
them over or whatever,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
I would say another thing along that as far as unique sales position is we're fairly innovative on the technology side of things, especially in the contracting world. I mean, it's not super common for contractors to be like cutting edge or using
mhm,
technology real well. So
yep,
one thing we do specifically with fences is we call it a virtual appointment where we screen the lead, we set up a video call between our estimator and the customer, and we actually have them on video walking through their backyard, kind of
nice,
talking through what they're looking for. And our estimator's sitting here just like I am on the webcam, kind of talking them through our
yeah,
process. And what we do with that is um, we get it real close. We give them we call it a ballpark, but it's essentially a true price unless something changes. But if they're okay with that, then we go on site.
nice,
Um, but what that does is it makes it really easy and efficient for the customer as well as us. But it's we've
yeah.
got great feedback on that.
Yeah, that's so funny that you said that because I was talking to somebody out of Pittsburgh, a deck company too, and he was literally saying this to me. He was like, I don't think anybody's doing this. I'm going to start doing Zoom calls basically for their leads. And he said it to me,
Yeah.
and I was sitting there. I'm like, why have I not thought of that? Because that's what I do everything through
All
Zoom.
right.
And I should have thought of that a long time ago. But I mean, it makes a ton of sense. I mean, everybody's pretty much familiar with Zoom or FaceTime. Is that what you do it over? Is it like a Zoom call or
Yeah, it's over Zoom. So
okay?
it's kind of funny COVID-19 brought that to us. We
Yeah.
had to innovate,
Oh
we had to
yeah.
keep
Yeah.
running
Yeah.
appointments, but we couldn't go on site. It actually, funny story, it actually started with us going on site. The customer would stay in their house and we'd be outside of their house on a video call with them. Right. So,
Yeah.
and we kind of took that and ran with it and we're like, hey, what if the customer just went outside and we stayed in the office? And
Yeah.
we've been innovating the process for what, a couple years now. And it's been great. We can run
Yeah.
tons of appointments in a week.
I would imagine like profitability has to go up quite a bit because you're beating out the tire kickers. You have a much better idea if they will be that kind, you know, if they're going to be a tire
Yep.
kicker. Do you see that?
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay. All right. So kind of on the marketing side and the offline, I'm just curious, are you doing any types of offline marketing?
Give me a couple examples of offline.
So like billboards,
Okay.
signs, I mean, basically anything
Yeah.
that's not, through a computer.
Yeah. Yeah, we are. We do quite a bit actually. So just to kind of run through the list with our crews, our on-site crews, we have some cool little door hangers that we have made. When they show up on site, they go down a couple doors each way from the project we're working on that says, "Pardon our noise. We're working on your neighbor's project. Come check us out." Blah blah blah.
All right, yep.
We do yard signs. I mean, we have truck wraps. We actually just 20 days ago got our first billboard hung up
Oh,
in
nice.
Vancouver. So I can't tell you if it works or not yet, but we're excited
Yeah.
about it and we're going full steam ahead with that one. We have a couple more that we're working on. Shoot, what else?
What about radio, like TV commercials, anything like that?
No radio and no TV yet.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
they're very expensive, but
yeah, I've heard good things about them. But we have a guy that we chat with quite often in Kansas City that goes hard on the radio and it hooks him up pretty good. So
really.
uh, I've heard good things, but haven't dove into that one yet.
Gotcha. Okay. And when you do the billboards, I mean, I think we spoke about this, like the tracking stuff. Do you use a different number or anything on the billboard to let you like, give any way to track the leads that come from the billboard, or they just kind of all loop together with the rest of them?
Yeah, so right now, kind of the way we're looking at the billboard campaign is a little bit more seasonal. So we're gonna put out a different message for each season. So right now, we just put up a generic like branding message, and we don't even have our phone number on it. Um, it's just a really cool picture that give people kind of a positive feel, and then a huge Cascade Fence and Deck logo.
Oh, okay.
I mean, with our name. And I'm gonna say probably in a month or two, we're gonna update that to a little bit more of a maybe call to action type message on there.
Yeah.
Um, but
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. So you're just hoping they go to the website basically is kind of
yeah.
what you're thinking. Yeah. Okay.
Make people familiar with the name. What do they say? I think it takes 17 times of seeing the name before someone kind of like
Yeah.
trusts it or recognizes it. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've heard seven, but that was like the old school one, like rule of seven. But now they say it's
Yeah.
like, I've heard it's like 21 or maybe 17
Yeah.
because
I don't
everyone
know.
just sees ads and don't even like on Facebook, they see 100 of them in just one
But
little
yeah,
section. But
getting a little bit watered down these days.
yeah, for sure. Okay, what about like direct? You do you send like postcards or anything like that?
Um, Nothing in a big scale. So something we've been playing with lately is we're calling it neighborhood campaigns, where we're taking some specific neighborhoods that we feel like really fit our demographic of customer and like creating some specific designs. Like a neighborhood a lot of times will have the same backyard for every house, right? Let's say there's just a slider door to like just a grass lawn.
Yeah.
Um, so we're creating some designs that are kind of pre-made, and then we're mailing just that neighborhood with those designs. So there will be like a design that looks exactly like most of the houses in that neighborhood, and then like a cool design deck.
Huh.
Um, so we'll blast just that neighborhood specifically, and then we'll follow that up with kind of some yard signs throughout the area and targeted social media ads just for that specific area. Um, so more specified approach to smaller neighborhoods, but yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Okay.
Nothing on a huge scale as far as mailers right now.
Yeah. Okay. What anything with like networking groups like BNI, Chamber of Commerce? Do you do anything with that?
Yeah, we're part of Olympia Master Builders up here in Olympia, Washington. We've been part of BNI groups in the past. We're not active right now, but those have always been good for referrals. Um, but I think a lot of the networking we do is we love to go to all the trade shows. So like Deck Expo, Fence Tech. We'll be going to IBS next week, um, and just connecting with different builders throughout the nation, um, talking about their sales process, what they're doing for marketing. Um, so more, we, I guess, very involved in the industry. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay. Are you part of NADRA, I would assume?
we are
Also.
part of NADRA. Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. And all right, so on the digital marketing side, I'm just curious, have you ever used Angie's List or the those types of lead buying services?
Yeah, I think we've dabbled with almost all of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we don't dump too much into, I mean, I think we put some in Yelp right now. Um, but a lot of local service ads we're doubling down on. That's been performing amazing for us.
Yep.
Um, we have some in Google Ads. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Facebook ads. Yeah, run some ads on Facebook. So
Okay. And I'm curious the local services ads for the decks. Are you seeing how's the lead flow looking for just the decking side for you?
just the decking side. I, they're definitely performing well for the or more for the fences than they are the
Yeah.
decks.
Yep.
Is that something that you see?
Yeah, so that's a big problem right now, and I gosh, I wish I could figure out when they're gonna. So here's kind of the issue is with fencing, there's a separate category with local services ads, so you can
Yep.
tell them like, hey, I'm a fence contractor, I only want installs, I don't want repairs. So if you get a repair lead and you didn't check that off, then you can basically dispute it and get your money back.
Yeah,
With decking, it's all looped under general contractors. There's not a
that's
deck
right. Yep.
category. Yeah, and it's also combined with patios. So basically anything that has anything to do with patio or fencing, there's no way to dispute it and get your money back. So it's kind of like that's one of the problems. If you kind of check those
Yeah.
boxes and you're good with that, but also I've just seen the lead flow just be nowhere close to fencing. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just been much slower and really hit or miss. So I'm hoping they I cannot wait till they add a deck builder category. I think they will
Dude,
eventually.
that'll be huge because if we could
Yeah,
have the decks working like the fences are, like local service
yeah,
ads is killer.
yeah, yeah. It's really cheap right now. It's a great option. There's no very low risk. I mean, there's for there's some situations you got to be very careful with them. With you guys, I know you have like receptionists that are good about picking up the calls, but if you miss calls, just a little tidbit here, like if you miss, say you set them up and then you have a call come in and you miss that call, I've seen it literally just destroy your rankings and make it, I
Oh
mean,
wow.
almost impossible to get out of that hole. Um, it could have changed lately, but that happened with a client where we were like, we just started them. You make sure you're by the phone, and then
Yep.
she went to the bathroom, and the call came in, and I tried my best to get it out, and I literally just ran out of options, and I couldn't figure it out. So
Interesting. That's pretty touchy then.
yeah, yeah, and I've talked with other, I have a lot of big network as well for agencies, and spoke with them, and that's basically what they've seen too. So if anybody wants to do
Interesting.
them, it's worth it, but be careful.
Yeah, no, that's a good pro tip.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Okay, so then I know you guys you're doing some SEO. Yeah, speak to that a little bit. Kind of what you guys are doing consistently with that.
Yeah, we are doing some. I wish we were doing more. So nobody on our marketing team just loves to write the blogs or doing that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets put to the wayside a little bit. But we do a lot of video. We have did a lot of video. I mean, if you checked out our YouTube, there's I don't even know how many videos. Kind of what we've been trying to do. Are you familiar with They Ask You Answer?
No, I don't think
I
so.
think it's Brandon Sheridan. He had a pool company, but he has a book called They Ask You Answer. So the idea is to create content answering any question that a potential customer may have. Right. So potential customers are going to go online and they're going to type in difference between vinyl and wood fence,
Yep.
or which one costs more, and steel posts or wood posts. kind of our whole goal is to create a piece of content around every single question that a customer could ever ask. That way it gets kind of funneled back to our site. So that's what we've been working on for years. We've got a lot of stuff together, but like that's endless. So
Yeah. So you're doing videos for that too, or just like content? Like, how does that work?
so we start with a video and then we turn it into a blog.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a really good idea. Have you guys ever heard of like schema markup for websites?
Not familiar.
It's kind of like a coding language between that all the search engines understand. But
Okay.
basically, like you were saying, people go to Google and say, difference between wood and vinyl fence, or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
Uh, you can answer those in like an FAQ section on your website too, and actually add this schema markup code basically to tell Google like what exactly you're doing. And then that's how you kind of get shown up in the search results too. So it's
Okay.
good. Yeah, it's good to have the blog post. So you can definitely rank that way. But like on the say like a deck installation page, if there's questions being answered there, or sorry,
Yeah.
how many questions you get there, you can answer that in like an FAQ section and add that schema markup. So you have ways to show up that way too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. I'll
yeah.
have to look into that. Yep.
Yep.
Hmm.
And okay, so I definitely know what you mean by the content. Full disclosure, I do not like writing content at all. Luckily I'm not the one writing any content because I'm not
That
a
was
good
the one. That was the one thing I asked you a couple weeks ago when we were on the phone. I'm like, oh,
Yep.
writing content? You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I
that's
mean
kind of
we
where we stand too.
well no, so me personally I don't like it, but that was like the first one of the first hires I ever did was a content writer. We have a content team to do it that actually enjoy it and are good at it. But me personally,
That's key.
yeah, I wasn't the one writing the content.
Mhm.
I guess way back I was forced to, but
Yeah.
that's about it. What about like the SEO side? Do you build any like backlinks or get links from like local vendors or anything? Have you ever messed with that at all?
Um, not not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Um, we might be doing it. So just full disclosure for everybody, I don't do all of our marketing.
Yeah, yeah,
So Andy's our
yeah.
marketing guy, and he does know a little bit more on the marketing end than I do, but not that I'm aware of on that front. Yeah.
Gotcha. That was getting a little bit too much in the weeds anyways.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
But okay, so you said pay-per-click ads, local services ads. I mean, how are
Yep.
you separating those? I mean, what are you deciding, what is needed by PPC and, why you need to run those campaigns instead of just doing local services ads?
Yeah, I think let's see. So pay per click, we don't put much into it, honestly. I think we promote um let's see. I don't know if I have a great answer for this question, but
Yeah,
we
if
haven't
not,
seen a great return on it. And honestly, our tracking isn't like super dialed in for pay per click, which kind of puts us in a spot where like I know we got to be doing some to kind of stay up there, especially for our own name and some of the more common terms.
yeah,
But it's hard to say because of the tracking end of things. But we just know that local service ads been killing it, so we just
yeah.
increase our budget on that. But
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of what we see too. Like the fencing, local services ads are really good. It's kind of the decking where you get a little bit more. The pay per
yeah,
click seems to work sometimes. There's other strategies and stuff, but anyways.
yep.
Okay, but you are doing some Facebook ads too, is that right?
Yeah, we've been dabbling with Facebook ads. Kind of what we've been doing is we'll post content just organically and then kind of wait and see what performs well organically and then boost that.
Okay,
So
okay, gotcha. So just boosting
um
posts, basically.
yeah, mainly we
Gotcha.
haven't.
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm getting into all the. Don't want to get too technical.
No, you're all good.
Okay, and then social media, you guys are killing it on there. You are doing all channels like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So we started doing social media, shoot, 6 years ago. I don't know. And it was kind of funny. One of our employees brought it up. He's like, dude, we got to have a Cascade Fence Deck Instagram. And we are like, yeah, whatever. Like, like,
Yeah,
yeah, it'd be fun. So then we actually ended up starting one. And kind of some of the results we've seen off it, like early on, were marketing towards employees. So when we think of marketing, we have multiple different customers, I guess. We have potential clients that might need a fence or a deck. We have future hires, but then we also have, folks to network with in the industry or different vendors, products. So I would say the success on social media has been like we've got a lot of really good talent off of there. We have got some good projects, but I would say more so on the talent and like just networking
Yeah.
industry stuff. Yeah, that's been the value there,
Gotcha.
which I think is slept on for sure.
Gotcha. Okay. So the marketing efforts you're doing now, which one do you think is really doing the best, like giving you guys the most leads?
Um, Probably providing a great experience to our customers and getting the repeats and referrals.
Gotcha.
Honestly,
Yeah.
yeah. So we haven't had a huge marketing budget like ever. Like I said, we did about 12 million last year, and our marketing budget was less than 1%.
Nice.
So as far as the money we're spending on pay-per-click, local service ads, Facebook, Yelp, it's not a lot. We've really grown quite organically just through our reputation and having very happy customers that go and tell everybody else.
Gotcha. Nice. Yeah. Best way to get new jobs or cheapest way
It
to get
is.
new
It's
too.
amazing.
Okay. And then the review side, because this is always a big one. I mean, what are you guys
Oh
doing
yeah.
to generate new reviews consistently? Because you have a lot between the different locations you guys have.
Yeah. This is a tough one. It's always surprising at how hard it is to get a review.
Yep.
But one thing I think of, like when I walk out of a grocery store, they'll like hand you the receipt and circle the bottom and be like, "Here, please leave us a review." Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, yeah.
So, and yeah, I walk off, I crumple the receipt and I drop it in the garbage on my way out. Um, so I understand where the customers are coming from, but I think one thing we do to like kind of increase our chances of getting that review is we talk about it up front. Like the crew a lot of times on site will tell the customer, "Hey, my goal here is to provide a 5-star experience. And when we're all said and done, I want you to be so happy that you'll leave us a 5-star review."
Heck,
And just that quick one-liner to kind of plant the bug is what we call it. And then at the end of the project, we follow that up, kind of ask them if they'll leave us a online review on Google, and if they're willing, maybe even copy and paste that into Facebook or Yelp or wherever else. Um, but I think the biggest thing is we actually incentivize our crews. I don't know if this is um, against the rules or not, but we tell them we'll buy them free lunch if they get 4 reviews from a customer.
nice. And like
So
for total, like just any days, do they just kind of add them up?
yeah, so if they go out and build a fence, let's say they go out and build a fence today, and at the end of the day, they talk to the customer. They're like, "Hey, would you mind leaving us an online review, and maybe even copy and paste that into a few other sites as well? I'll send you the links. If you do that and we get 4 reviews, the crew gets free lunch."
I like
And I
that.
think that like a little emotional
Yeah,
tie between the customer and the crew at that point, when they know that the crew will get something, uh, we've seen our reviews skyrocket. And then
that's brilliant. Yeah.
the crews
That's
get
really
free
cool.
lunch and they're all pretty fired up on the idea too. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's great because I think everyone is going to have a more of a soft spot for whoever's installing the fence
absolutely.
versus thinking about like management or whatever, they just think
Yeah.
maybe they're just trying to make more money or whatever. But
Mhm.
yeah, I like that a lot. Okay. I'll have
And
to take that one.
we've did little things with competition as well. Just like maybe on the year we're getting close to the 300th review, right? So we'll be at like 270 and I'll post a competition and I'll be like, "All right, whoever's name gets mentioned in the 300th review is getting a surprise gift of like $150 value from me." And
Nice.
then we'll watch that like it'll be insane. We'll get like 27 reviews that week. It's like nice.
Yeah. There you go.
But
Well,
it's always fun.
I think you have almost 400 with one of the locations. Did you set you give a gift for that one too? I was looking
Yeah,
at.
just this. Yeah, we did. I think that one came in November. One of our foremen, Ezekiel, he got the 300th review. Him and his crew were mentioned. So, I think I bought him some nice Diamondback suspenders for his Diamondback tool bags.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was
There you
pretty
go.
fun.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And you touched on email marketing. You guys aren't really sending emails out at all.
We're sending, I think, one a month right now, and it's just a generic newsletter. only to our past customers right now. So
Gotcha.
somebody who has completed a project with us. Um,
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, and we I guess we're not willing to be like I don't know if you want to call it spammy. We don't want to
Yep.
just blast out tons of
Yep.
content that's like they're just going to hit unsubscribe on.
Yep.
So we try to provide a lot of value, maybe an informational video on our warranty, and then we have our warranty link in the email, so they can click on the warranty link, let us know if there's an issue. We'll get back out on site, help them out, stay top of mind, kind of reconnect. More things like that right now.
Yeah. Nice. So when you send the emails, do you try to make it like it's from the brand, or is it like from a specific person? How do you
Yeah, good
typically go
question.
about that?
Yeah, we've did from a specific person.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a lady named Carrie that works for us. She's phenomenal, great at customer experience. Um, it comes from her, and then most of the inquiries go back to her, and then she'll direct it to the right place or whatnot. Um, she's actually one of our CSRs, but she gets looped into all the customer experience type stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, the reason I asked, I've seen that a lot better if it's like one specific person. It seems like an email is specific to them, even though it might not be, but
Mhm.
better reply rates, I guess, too. And it just doesn't sound like, this, maybe not spam, but like the emails we all get, like the promotions from,
Yeah,
if you have Google, like the promotions folder is just covered with like ones that are clearly not from one person. So it's a
yeah.
good way to kind
So
of separate yourself.
yeah, so you've seen better success when it comes from a person?
Yeah, and not even like using like a big email signature. I mean, what we see is typically the best is like almost like an email between friends. You just have like, hey,
Yeah,
whatever, Mr. Customer, whatever you got to say to them, and then if you just say thanks or whatever, your sign off, and don't be too like crazy with the signature. They just people, because people think it's like, okay, it's they just reached out to me specifically. The more you can kind of
more
paint that
personalized.
picture. Yeah, exactly. And because nobody responds to a company email or
Yeah, you're right.
somebody.
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah. So okay. And I know you've touched on a ton like customer experience, and kind of like what you saw that growth from 2 to 3 to 12 to 13. You
Yeah.
say like really just focusing on hiring the right people, like good hiring practices, and taking care when they're there, and that's what's just everyone's kind of on the same page, same mission. Is that kind of what you're saying really
Yeah,
helps?
in a nutshell. Yeah, I mean, I think if you hire good people and you keep your people happy, and really, really, truly take care of them, they're going to take care of your customer. And
Yeah.
we've seen an example. I mean, that's been demonstrated over the past 8, 9 years here at Cascade. That's honestly what's allowed us to grow. Um, but I mean, in addition to that, you have to have a vision and you have to share that vision with your employees. They have to know where you're going and they have to be able to see themselves um, on that journey. So it's one thing to have good people, but if they don't see where you're going, or if they don't really know how, if they can't picture themselves in 3 years, moving up, growing,
Yeah. Yeah.
elevating, they're probably going to go find a company that is showing them that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's all in our business plan, and we're very transparent with kind of how, let's even say how last year went, and like what our goals are as far as revenue and profit and all this stuff for this coming year. And our 1 year goals are centered around that growth and making sure it's a company that we all love to work for. And I I believe, I hope that our employees can truly see that clearly and get excited and engaged for that.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, they're dedicating years of their lives, and you only want people that are ambitious in some right, that are working for you. You don't want people that just want to stay the same. So if you're creating a
absolutely.
culture that they can grow, then they'll be a lot happier versus someone that's just like, we want to kind of stay where we are and we're happy the way things
Hmm.
are. An ambitious person,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't really want to go. I don't want to work here.
Right. But I think there's a lot of companies that like the owner has that vision and they kind of know where they want to go, but they're not spreading that vision to the employees.
Yeah.
So um, maybe they don't talk about it. And I think that's crucial. And I'm speaking from experience for myself too. There's times where maybe early on working here, I didn't really know what was going on. That's when I start looking up around. I'm like, well, what else is out there,
Yeah.
But when I have that clear focus and I know my part in it, I'm fully engaged and I don't really have time to look elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And have you seen turnover just like very few and far between at this point? I mean, still people that come and go, or how's that working out these days?
Yeah. I mean, we have people that come and go. But grand scheme of things, I feel like we have really healthy turnover. So there's certain times where we hire somebody, we have high hopes for them, we think we see the potential, but maybe they come in and maybe they're not really feeling the vibe of our culture, um, and they don't really feel like they fit in, or maybe they don't want to go where we're going as a company, and they leave, and that's totally legit.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're a bad person. Doesn't mean we suck. It's
Yep.
just wasn't a great fit. So we see some of that. And I'd say it's pretty healthy turnover there. I'm happy with where it's at.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, and just kind of wrapping up here, but if you had to say like to an owner of a fence or deck company, somebody that wants to be your size or just growing, consistently, even if it was growing from 500,000 to 1 million or 1 million to 3, whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
anything that you could, any specific information. I know we covered a lot here already, but if you had to say kind of like one thing, 1 to 2 things, what they should be doing to
Yeah.
really, take their company to the next level.
Yeah. My big thing is focus on your people.
Yep.
Like double down, triple down, take care of your people and they will take care of you and your customers. Um, Pay them well. Like if you can figure out some sort of benefits, like give them benefits, but even aside from like the financial means, like ask them how they're doing
Yeah.
personally.
Yep.
Help them with budgeting. Help them send them through a leadership class, something that will like benefit them not only professionally, but also just in their personal life. Because I truly believe that if you're helping somebody live their best life or improve personally, they got your back. They'll run through
Yeah.
brick walls
We
for
love
you.
you.
And that's like we double down, triple down on that, and it's paid off tenfold. And I would highly encourage, especially the small business owners, just to get a couple good guys and take care of them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I like that piece. That's of like asking how they're doing. I try to be pretty good about that, honestly, because I mean, yeah, they're at the end of the day, they're sacrificing their years. Like we're only here that long and they're
Yeah,
working for you. And it can be tough when you're just like bogged down by stuff, but
yeah,
things like that I've seen go kind of the long, the go really far in terms of loyalty,
yeah.
yeah, loyalty, I guess.
The perspective I like to look at it in is like we're spending 50 hours a week at work. We're hanging out for 50 hours a week, let's say, and that's arguably just as much or more than you're like spending at home.
Yeah,
So it
even
has to
more.
be an enjoyable place for them, and they have to see value in it. It has to be improving them,
Yeah.
improving their life. Um, and I think that's where that loyalty comes from. But
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Is there any additional, nuggets of wisdom or insight that you have you'd like to share to everybody?
hmm, aside from doubling down on the people, I think I don't know. That's just where it all starts, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you
And
definitely
it's
covered
it's
a lot of
definitely a
stuff too.
passion of mine, so
Yeah,
I love doing it. But don't be afraid to reach out to other people and ask how they're doing
yeah,
things. Um, you don't know everything. I think anybody listen to this, like if you think you know everything, you don't.
yep.
So
Yeah,
talk
it's
to other
true.
people who are doing things better or doing things good. You're gonna learn something.
Yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty much, all the questions I had for you, Louis.
cool.
Yeah, just want to thank you again for coming on. I think we covered a lot of good stuff. I think this
Yeah, that's
episode's
fun.
gonna be one of the favorites, and I think there's a lot of things in here people could get from it that they could apply to their own fencing or decking business. But
Mhm.
sure they got a lot of value. I got a lot of value. I really like that review side of it. I'm gonna start saying that to clients.
Yeah,
That's a really good
makes
idea.
it fun.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. But kind of going forward for everyone for the Fence and Deck Mastery podcast, we will be continuing these podcasts every week. That's the plan. I would like to do more of these, and the more interviews I can get, I will continue to do more each week. But at least once a week. That's kind of the minimum. But if you have any questions about marketing, anything like that too, if you're a fence or deck company, Feel free to reach out to us on deckfencemarketers.com. And we're on pretty much every social media channel if you just want to digest content. We do it in pretty much every fashion, not just the podcast, but YouTube. We do webinars each month, every social media channel with short videos, things like that. So you can see it all on the website. So want to make sure we can provide as much value to fencing and decking, free of charge, and hopefully
Absolutely.
rub off on other fence and deck owners and help make more money, better opportunities for employees, and just everyone can kind of grow. So
Yeah.
that's it, Louis. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for hopping on, and talk soon.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if people want to check out our website, feel free to reach out to us. I'm always happy to chat with other fence and deck businesses, just kind of about marketing, operations, whatever it is. I really enjoy it. So
Yeah.
along with that, hit us up on Instagram, follow us at cascadefenceanddeck.com. We're always there. So, but yeah, that was fun. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, that's why you guys are doing so well. Look at that. You're helping out other guys too, and no secrets with you guys. It's been a
Yeah,
pleasure.
that's right.
So,
Absolutely.
all right, thanks, Louis. Take care, man.
Yep. Bye, buddy.